Ambassador Kate Morrison sat in her chair and watched the alien creatures argue. Her hands were folded in her lap. Her face showed nothing. She had been doing this for 3 years now. 3 long years of listening to them talk about humans like they were children or pets. The Galactic Council chamber was huge. Hundreds of different alien species sat in curved rows that went up to the ceiling. Some looked like giant insects. Others looked like walking trees. A few looked almost human, but with wrong colors or too many arms. They all had one thing in common, though. They all thought humans were weak. Captain Ben Hughes stood behind Kate's chair. His uniform was clean and pressed. His hands were behind. His back, he looked calm, but Kate knew better. She could see the small muscle in his jaw moving. Ben was a soldier. He had fought in wars before humans even knew aliens existed. Standing still and being quiet was not natural for him. The human. "Request is ridiculous," said War Master Grexel. He was a big lizard-like creature with red scales and yellow eyes. His voice was loud and harsh. "They want access to our trade routes. They want our technology. But what do they offer? Nothing. They are babies playing at being adults." Kate did not move. She did not speak. Dr. Lisa Grant sat next to her and made notes on a tablet. Lisa was their expert on alien behavior. She understood how these creatures thought better than anyone. Council Speaker Vexstar looked like a walking crystal. Light moved through its body in different colors. When it spoke, the sound came from everywhere at once. The human representative may respond to these concerns. Kate stood up slowly. She smoothed down her blue dress. Every movement was careful and planned. She had practiced this in front of mirrors. She had studied videos of other diplomats. Everything about her said peaceful and harmless. "Thank you, Speaker Vexstar," Kate said. Her voice was soft and pleasant. "The United Earth Federation appreciates this opportunity to address the Council's concerns." Some of the aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. Kate ignored them. "We understand that trust must be earned," she continued. "Humans are new to this community. We know we have much to learn from the wisdom of older civilizations. We ask only for the chance to prove ourselves as valuable partners." Grexel slammed his clawed hand on his desk. The sound echoed through the chamber. "Partners? You are not. Partners. You are primitives. Your species still fights wars on your own planet. Cannot even manage one small world, and you want to join us among the stars." Ben's jaw muscle twitched faster. Kate felt his anger like heat from a fire. Put one hand behind her back and made a small gesture. "Be calm. Not yet." "It is true that humanity has conflicts," Kate said. "We do not hide from our past. But we have learned from our mistakes. We seek to grow and improve. Is this not what the Galactic Council stands for? Progress through cooperation?" An alien that looked like a giant butterfly spoke up. "The humans have been peaceful in their 3 years here. They have caused no trouble. Perhaps we should consider their request." Grexel turned to stare at the butterfly creature. "Peaceful? They are scared. You know they are weak. The moment they feel safe, they will show their true nature. I have studied their history. They are a species built for war." Kate's smile never changed. Inside, she felt something cold and sharp. They thought humans were weak because humans chose to be polite. They thought kindness meant fear. We were so very wrong about that. "If I may," Kate said, "we would like to present our proposal for mining rights in the Centauri sector. We believe this could benefit all council members." She activated a hologram. In the center of the chamber, it showed star charts and mining data. The numbers were impressive. Earth had found rich deposits of rare metals that the aliens used for their technology. "These deposits are in human space," said an alien that looked like a walking plant. "Why should you share them with us?" "Because cooperation makes everyone stronger," Kate said. "When we work together, we all benefit. This is the human way." More. Sounds that might have been laughter came from the alien seats. Grexel stood up. He was almost 3 meters tall and covered in muscles. His teeth were long and sharp. "The human way is to pretend weakness while you plan to stab us in the back," he said. "I have read your military reports. I know about your wars. I know about your weapons. You are predators pretending to be prey." Ben took a step forward. 8. Felt the change in him. He was shifting from diplomat's guard to soldier. She made the calm gesture again, stronger this time. War Master Grexel, we understand your concerns, Kate said. Perhaps we can arrange for inspections of our facilities. We have nothing to hide. Nothing to hide? Grexel laughed. It was an ugly sound. Your military has more soldiers than most of our species have total population. Your ships may look peaceful, but they could be converted to warships in days. Do you think we are fools? The chamber grew quiet. Other aliens were watching now. This was more than just debate. This was accusation. Kate felt something crack inside. Her chest, they knew. They had always known. They knew humans were strong, and they hated them for pretending to be weak. But they also hated them for being strong in the first place. Now there was no winning with these creatures.
The council will recess to consider this matter,
said Speaker Vexter. We will vote on the human proposal next session. Kate knew what that meant. They would vote no. He had voted no 15 times before. They would keep voting no until humans got tired and went away. She bowed politely to the council. Thank you for your time and consideration. As the aliens filed out of the chamber, Ben moved closer to Kate. His voice was very quiet. How much longer are we going to do this? Kate watched Grexel leaving. The big lizard was talking to other aliens, probably planning how to block the next human proposal too, as long as it takes, she said. But her voice was not as steady as usual. Ben nodded, but he did not look satisfied. Kate did not blame him. 2. Kate Morrison stood at the window of her quarters on Nexus Prime Station. Stars moved slowly past as the massive station turned. She had been staring at the same view for 20 minutes, but she was not really seeing it. Her mind was somewhere else. A door chime sounded. Kate did not turn around. Come in, Ben. Captain Ben Hughes walked into the room. He was still wearing his dress uniform, but his jacket was open now. His face looked tired. How did you know it? Was me? He asked. Because everyone else knocks twice, Kate said. You always hit the door chime once and wait. Old military habit. Ben sat down in the chair near the window. For a few minutes neither of them spoke. Outside, a ship was docking at one of the station's many ports. It looked like a giant metal flower with too many petals. Admiral Clark is coming, Ben said finally. Kate turned to look at him. Admiral Ryan Clark commanded the human fleet that was stationed 3 systems away. He never left his command ship unless something was very wrong. When Kate asked, his ship should arrive in 6 hours. He sent a coded message. Priority Alpha. Kate felt something cold in her stomach. Priority. Alpha meant immediate danger to human lives. It meant the time for talking might be over. Did he say what it was about? Ben shook his head. Just that he has intelligence we need to see right away. And Kate? He's bringing Commander Turner with him. Alex Turner was their best intelligence officer. He was the kind of man who knew things. Before they happened, Turner was coming. It meant someone had been watching humans very carefully. I see. Kate walked to her desk and sat down. Have you heard anything from the colonies? That's the problem, Ben said. New Haven Colony missed their scheduled check-in yesterday. So did Harmony Station and the mining facility on Kepler 7. Kate felt the cold in her stomach spread to her chest. 3 colonies, all in different systems, all gone quiet at the same time. Technical problems, she asked, but she already knew the answer. All 3 at the same time? No chance. Ben leaned forward. Kate, I think we need to consider that our polite approach is not working. Kate looked at her hands. We're clean and soft. Diplomat's hands. She had spent 3 years keeping them clean while other people did the hard work. While other people died, the council will meet again tomorrow, she said. Grexel has called for a special session. He wants to discuss human membership in the council. That sounds like good news. No, Kate said quietly. It does not. When someone like Grexel wants to discuss your membership, it usually means they want to end it. The door chimed again. This time it was 2 quick sounds. Come in, Lisa. Dr. Lisa Grant entered the room. She was carrying a tablet, and she looked worried. Lisa always looked a little worried, but this was different. This was scared. I have been studying the voting patterns, Lisa said without saying hello. I have run the numbers 17 different ways. Kate, we are in trouble. She activated her tablet, and projected a hologram above Kate's desk. It showed the council chamber with each alien seat marked in different colors. Red means they will vote against us no matter what, Lisa said. Yellow means they might vote for us. Green means they will support us. Kate looked at the display. There was a lot of red, very little green. How many votes do we need to stay in the council? Kate asked. We have maybe 30% support on our best day. Lisa touched the tablet and the display changed. But here is the real problem. I have been tracking communication. Patterns between different species. Grexel has been very busy. The display now showed lines connecting different alien seats. The lines were all coming from Grexel's position. He has built a coalition, Lisa continued. 15 different species that will vote together, have enough votes to remove us from the council completely. Ben stood up and started walking around the room. Kate recognized the signs. He was switching from diplomatic mode to tactical mode. What's their excuse going to be? Ben asked. They say humans are too aggressive to be trusted with advanced technology, Lisa said. They point to our military size and our history of warfare. They say we will eventually attack other council members. Kate laughed, but there was no humor. In the sound, so they are going to attack us first to prevent us from attacking them. That appears to be the logic, yes. And the colonies. Lisa's face went very pale. I intercepted some communications this morning. Nothing official, just ... rumors. What kind of rumors? Pirates, Lisa said. Reports of pirate attacks on human settlements. But the descriptions of the ships match Hegemony military vessels. Hegemony was Grexel's faction. They controlled 12 star systems and had the biggest military force in the council after the humans. Kate felt something inside her chest begin to change. It was like ice melting, but what was underneath the ice was not water, it was fire. How many people live on those 3 colonies? She asked. New Haven has about 20,000, Lisa said. Harmony Station has 15,000. The mining facility has 10,000. Had, Ben said quietly. You mean had? Nobody spoke for a moment. Kate stared at the hologram showing the council. Voting patterns. All those red seats. All those species that thought humans were too dangerous to live in peace with other races. There is something else, Lisa said. Dr. Rodriguez has been studying alien psychology. He thinks our polite behavior is making things worse. Kate looked up. What do you mean? Most of these species understand dominance and submission. We act polite and diplomatic. They think we are submitting to them. They see it as weakness. But they also know we have a strong military, so they think we are being sneaky. They think we are planning to attack them when they are not ready. So, if we are polite, we are weak, Kate said. If we are strong, we are dangerous. If we try to be both polite and strong, we are liars. That seems to be their view, yes. Ben stopped walking and looked out the window. A new ship was approaching the station. It was sleek and dark and did not look like any civilian vessel Kate had ever seen. That's Admiral Clark, Ben said. Early. Kate stood up and smoothed her dress. 3 years of being polite. 3 years of smiling and bowing and asking nicely for things that humans had earned with their own work. 3 years of pretending to be weak so that other species would not be afraid. And what did it get them? 50,000 people dead or missing? A vote to kick them out of the council? Plans to attack human space because humans might be dangerous. Set up a meeting, Kate said. I want to see the Admiral as soon as he docks. And Ben? Yes. Send a coded message to Earth. Tell them we might need to change our approach here. Ben nodded. What should I tell them exactly? Kate walked to her closet and looked at her collection. Of diplomatic dresses, soft colors, gentle fabrics, clothing designed to make her look harmless. Tell them that being polite is not working anymore. Admiral Ryan Clark looked older than Kate remembered. His hair was more gray and his face had new lines around his eyes. He sat across from her in the secure meeting room deep inside the station. Commander Alex Turner sat next to him with a briefcase that had 3 different locks. Show her, Admiral Clark said. Turner opened the briefcase and pulled out a datapad. He slid it across the table to Kate. The screen showed images that made her stomach turn cold. New Haven Colony, Turner said. These pictures were taken by our stealth probe 6 hours ago. Kate stared at the images. Buildings were burned. Ships were destroyed. Bodies were scattered in the streets. The colony that had been home to 20,000 people was now a graveyard. Harmony Station, Turner said, sliding another pad across the table. More destruction. The space station was broken in half. Pieces of it were floating in space around the dead planet below. Kepler 7 mining facility. The third set of images showed the mining equipment melted into twisted metal. The living quarters were gone completely. Only dark craters remained where people had lived and worked. Ben Hughes sat next to Kate. She could hear his breathing getting faster and louder. Dr. Lisa Grant was making small sounds like she was going. To be sick? How many survived? Kate asked. Her voice sounded strange and far away. None, Admiral Clark said. Total casualties across all 3 locations are 53,412 people, men, women, and children. Set down the datapad. Her hands were shaking. Do we know who did this? Turner activated a hologram above the table. It showed ship designs that Kate recognized. Hegemony attack cruisers, Turner said. We found debris with hegemony military markings at all 3 sites. They tried to clean up the evidence, but they missed some pieces. Grexel, Ben said. The word came out like a curse. It gets worse, Admiral Clark said. Tell her about the communications. Turner touched his pad and audio began playing. It was Grexel's voice speaking in his own language, but the translation appeared on the screen. The human settlements have been eliminated as planned. Now we can present evidence to the Council that pirates are becoming more dangerous. The Council will need to increase security. We will volunteer to patrol human space to protect them. Kate felt something break inside her chest. They had murdered 50,000 people to create an excuse to invade human territory. There's more, Turner said. We intercepted planning documents. They're going to claim that humans are too weak to protect themselves. They'll offer to take over security for all human colonies. And once they control our space, Admiral Clark said, they can do whatever they want with our people. Kate stood up and walked to the wall. She pressed her hands against the cold metal and tried to think. 3 years of being polite. 3 years of playing by their rules. 3 years of pretending to be weak so they would not be afraid, and they used that weakness to justify murder. There's something else you need to know, Admiral Clark said. It's a council session tomorrow. Grexel is not just planning to discuss our membership. He's planning to expel us completely. Kate turned around. Based on what? Based on our failure to protect our own people from pirates, Turner said. He's going to argue that any species that cannot defend itself does not deserve to be in the council, but his people are the ones who attacked us. He'll deny it. He'll say the evidence is fake. And enough council members will believe him because it's convenient. Lisa Grant finally spoke up. What about our allies? The Kepler Federation said they would support us? Turner looked at Admiral Clark. The Admiral nodded. The Kepler Federation received a visit from hegemony ships yesterday, Turner said. 3 battle cruisers just happened to be doing training exercises near their homeworld. The Federation has decided to abstain from voting on human issues. Intimidation, Ben said. Effective intimidation, Admiral Clark agreed. Half of our supporters have suddenly found reasons to be neutral. Kate walked back to the table and sat down. She looked at the images of the destroyed colonies again. Families had lived there. Children had played in those streets. People had built homes and lives and dreams. And aliens had burned it all. Because they thought humans were too dangerous to exist. What are our options? Kate asked. Admiral Clark and Turner looked at each other again. There was something they had not told her yet. Could withdraw from the council, Admiral Clark said. Pack up and go home. Forget about joining galactic civilization. That's not really an option, Kate said. We need the trade routes. We need the technology. Earth has 6 billion people and we're running out of resources. I know, Admiral, Clark said. Which brings us to option 2. He activated his own hologram. It showed star charts with human and alien territories marked in different colors. We stop pretending to be weak, he said. The hologram changed to show fleet positions. Kate stared at the display. There were human ships everywhere. Ships she had never heard of in positions she did not know about. How many ships do we have? She asked. More than they think, Admiral Clark said. A lot more? How many more? Turner touched his pad. Numbers appeared next to each fleet position. Kate stared at the numbers. That's impossible. The Council knows our fleet size. We report it every year. We report our exploration fleet, and our merchant marine Admiral Clark said, "We don't report our defense fleet because no one asked about it." Ben was studying the display. These ships are positioned around every major alien world, correct? They're in attack formation. Also, correct. Kate felt her world shifting. Everything she thought she knew about human space capabilities was wrong. They were not weak. They had never been weak. They had been pretending. "How long have you been planning this?" she asked. "We're joining the Council, Admiral," Clark said. "We hoped we would never need it. We hoped diplomacy would work. But we prepared for the possibility that it wouldn't." Kate looked at the images of the dead colonies again. Then she looked at the fleet positions. She thought about Grexel standing in the Council chamber tomorrow, talking about human weakness while he planned to steal human territory. "There's a third option," she said quietly. Admiral Clark waited. "We go to the Council session tomorrow. We present evidence of what really happened to our colonies. We demand justice. They'll vote it down," Ben said. "You know they will." Kate smiled. It was not a diplomatic smile. It was something else entirely. "Then we stop asking politely." She looked at Admiral Clark. "Can your fleets be ready in 24 hours? They're ready now." Kate stood up and walked to the door. She paused with her hand on the control. "Ben, send a message to Dr. Rodriguez. Tell him to prepare psychological profiles on all the Council members. I want to know exactly how they'll react when they realize they've made a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" Ben asked. Kate opened the door and looked back at the room full of evidence of murder and betrayal, the kind where they confused kindness for weakness. Kate Morrison walked into the Council chamber wearing a black dress. She had never worn black to a Council session before. Behind her, Ben Hughes wore his full military uniform with all his medals. His hand rested on his sidearm. The chamber was full. Every alien species had sent representatives. They wanted to watch the humans get kicked out of the Council. Kate could hear them talking and laughing. They thought this was going to be entertainment. War Master Grexel stood at the center podium. His red scales seemed brighter today, and his yellow eyes were excited. He was enjoying this. "Fellow Council members," Grexel said, "we gather today to discuss a serious matter. The human species has proven unable to protect its own people. 3 of their colonies have been destroyed by pirates. 50,000 humans are dead because their military is too weak to defend them." Some aliens made approving sounds. Others stayed quiet. Kate noticed that many of them would not look at her. Furthermore, Grexel continued, "Intelligence reports suggest that humans have been lying about their military capabilities. They may have secret weapons that they have not reported to this Council. How can we trust a species that lies to us?" Kate stood up. "Speaker Vexstar, I request permission to address these accusations." The crystal being's light patterns shifted. "Permission granted." Kate walked to the podium. Grexel moved aside, but he stayed close. He was still smiling. "Council members," Kate said, "the human delegation thanks you for this opportunity to address your concerns." Her voice was calm and pleasant. She sounded exactly like she had for 3 years. Some aliens started to look bored. They expected the same polite speech they had heard before. "You are correct that 3 human colonies were attacked." Kate continued. 53,412 people were murdered. Men, women, and children were killed in their homes and workplaces. Kate activated a hologram in the center of the chamber. It showed the destroyed colonies. Some aliens looked uncomfortable seeing the burned buildings and scattered bodies. "You are also correct that humans were unable to prevent these attacks," Kate said. "We failed to protect our people. This is a serious failure of our defensive capabilities." Grexel's smile got bigger. This was going exactly as he had planned. However, Kate said, and her voice changed slightly, "There appears to be some confusion about who was responsible for these attacks." The hologram changed. Now it showed pieces of wreckage with hegemony military markings. "These pieces were found at all 3 attack sites," Kate said. "They come from hegemony military vessels, not pirate ships. military vessels belonging to War Master Grexel's forces. The chamber got very quiet. Grexela's smile disappeared. Furthermore, Kate continued, we have intercepted communications from Hegemony Command discussing these attacks. Kate activated an audio recording. Grexel's voice filled the chamber. Speaking in his own language, translation appeared on screens throughout the room. The human settlements have been eliminated as planned. Every alien in the chamber turned to look at Grexel. His red scales were turning darker. His claws were extended. This evidence is fake, Grexel said. Humans are desperate. They created false evidence to hide their weakness. Kate nodded. I expected you would say that. Den. Captain Hughes stepped forward, pressed something on his wrist communicator. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber activated. They showed space around the station. But the space was not empty. Any more human warships surrounded Nexus Prime. Hundreds of them. Ships that were bigger and more advanced than anything the aliens had ever seen. Ships that had been invisible until this moment. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Aliens were pointing at the screens and making frightened sounds. Some were trying to contact their home worlds. Attention, council members, Kate said. Her voice was no longer pleasant. It was cold and hard. You seem to have misunderstood something about humans. She pressed a control, and the displays changed again. They showed space around every major alien world. Human fleets surrounded them all. For 3 years, you have mistaken our politeness for weakness, Kate said. You have mistaken our desire for peace as inability to wage war. This was an error on your part. Grexel was backing away from the podium. His eyes were wide and his mouth was open. You thought we were children playing at being adults, Kate continued. You thought we were too weak to deserve respect? Thought you could murder our people and steal our territory? The chamber's blast doors suddenly sealed shut. Emergency lights came on. Aliens started shouting and trying to reach the exits. Please remain calm, Kate said. No one will be harmed as long as they do not try to leave. We have some things to discuss. Ben moved to stand next to Kate. His weapon was now drawn and ready. Other human security officers appeared around the chamber. Kate had not seen them. Enter. They had been invisible too. War Master Grexel, Kate said, you murdered 53,000 humans to create an excuse to invade our space. You planned to use our destroyed colonies as proof that we were too weak to govern ourselves. I demand to speak to my government, Grexel shouted. This is an act of war. Kate smiled. It was not a diplomatic smile. It was the smile of a predator. Your government is currently surrounded by our fleets, she said. As are all of your worlds. As are all of your military bases. As are all of your trade routes. She activated another display. It showed the true size of the human military. Numbers that made the alien representatives gasp in fear. Every ship you see has been in position for over a year, Kate said. We have been watching you. We've been listening to your communications. We have been preparing for the possibility that diplomacy would fail. A small alien that looked like a walking plant spoke up. But why? Why did you pretend to be weak? Kate turned to face the creature. Because we hoped you would be better than you are. We hoped that if we approached you peacefully, you would treat us as equals. We hoped that showing restraint would earn us respect. She looked around the chamber at all the frightened alien faces. Instead, you saw restraint as weakness. You saw politeness as submission. You saw our desire for peace as an opportunity to exploit us. Kate walked back to the center of the chamber. Every alien I followed her. So we are done being polite, she said. We are done pretending to be weak. We are done asking for permission to exist. Ben activated his communicator. To Admiral Clark, this is Captain Hughes. Execute Protocol 7. Throughout the chamber, screens lit up showing human fleets moving into attack positions around alien worlds. Council members, Kate said, humanity's polite mode has been permanently disabled. We suggest you adjust your behavior accordingly. Chamber was completely silent, except for the sound of frightened aliens breathing. Kate straightened her black dress and smiled. Now, shall we discuss the new terms of galactic civilization? 3 hours later, the council chamber looked very different. Half the alien representatives were gone. They had been allowed to leave after signing documents agreeing to new terms. The ones who remained were either too scared to move or too important to dismiss. Kate Morrison sat in what used to be Speaker Vexter's chair. The crystal being now sat in a regular council seat like everyone else. Kate had not asked for the promotion. The surviving council members had insisted on it. President Ellen Brooks had arrived an hour ago. She was the leader of all human space. And she looked exactly like what she was, someone who had been preparing for war while hoping for peace. She stood next to Kate's chair like a guardian. War Master Grexel sat in the defendant's section. His hands were cuffed with human restraints that he could not break. His red scales had faded to a dull brown color. He looked old and defeated. "Tribunal will come to order," Kate said. Her voice echoed through the mostly empty chamber. "War Master Grexel, you stand accused of genocide against human civilians? How do you plead?" Grexel said nothing. He stared at the floor. The defendant refuses to enter a plea, Kate said. "The court will enter a plea of not guilty and proceed with the evidence." Commander Alex Turner stepped forward. He activated a hologram that showed the destroyed colonies again, but this time the display was different. It showed the attacks happening in real time. Human surveillance satellites recorded the entire assault on New Haven Colony, Turner said. The footage clearly shows hegemony military vessels conducting the attack. The hologram played scenes of alien ships firing on buildings full of families. Some of the remaining council members looked away. Others watched with horror on their faces. Similar footage exists for all 3 colonies, Turner continued. The attacks were coordinated and planned. This was not random piracy. This was systematic murder. An alien that looked like a giant insect spoke up. "If humans had this surveillance, why did you not defend the colonies?" President Brooks answered, "Because we were testing you. We wanted to see if the Galactic Council would demand justice for murdered humans. We wanted to see if you would protect the innocent." She gestured toward the mostly empty chamber. "Instead, half of you ran away when you realized humans were not as weak as you thought. The other half are sitting there wondering how to avoid punishment for supporting genocide." Kate activated another display, showed voting records from the past 3 years. "Every proposal humans made to this council was blocked," Kate said. "Every request for fair treatment was denied. Every attempt at cooperation was rejected. You did not want us as equals. You wanted us as servants." Small blue alien near the back raised its hand. "What do you want from us now?" Kate stood up and walked to the center of the chamber. She looked exactly like the diplomat she had been for 3 years, except for her eyes. Her eyes were different now. "We want what we have always wanted," Kate said. "Fair treatment, equal rights. It's the same respect you give each other." "But now you have weapons pointed at our worlds," the blue alien said. "Yes," Kate said simply. "Because asking nicely did not work." President Brooks stepped forward. "The human species gave you 3 years to accept us peacefully. You chose to respond with genocide instead. Now you get to experience what happens when humans stop being polite." She activated a new display showing the current positions of human fleets. "Every alien military installation in this galaxy is currently targeted by human weapons," Brooks said. "Every trade route is monitored by human ships. Every planet with a population over 1 million has a human fleet in orbit." Shouted an alien that looked like a walking tree. Kate laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. "Tyranny," Kate said. "You murdered 50,000 of our people and planned to steal our territory. You voted to expel us from the council because we were inconvenient. You threatened our allies into abandoning us. What do you call that?" The tree alien had no answer. "Here are the new rules," President Brooks said. "First, War Master Grexel and his co-conspirators will be turned over to human justice. They will face trial for genocide." Grexel finally looked up. "You cannot do this. I am a council member. I have diplomatic immunity." "You had diplomatic immunity," Kate said. "You lost it when you decided to murder our children," Second Brooks continued. "The hegemony will pay reparations for the destroyed colonies. The families of the dead will be compensated. We do not have that much money," said another hegemony representative. "Then you will work until you do," Brooks said. "Your military will be disbanded and your ships will be scrapped. Materials will be sold to pay the families. Third, the Galactic Council will be reorganized. Humans will have veto power over any decision that affects human interests. That gives you control over everything, protested the insect alien. Yes, Kate said. It does. You had the chance to share power fairly. You chose to abuse it instead. President. Brooks walked to where the alien representatives sat. They all shrank back from her. Fourth, any species that wants to trade with humans or travel through human space will sign non-aggression treaties. You will promise never to attack human civilians again. And if we refuse, asked the blue alien. Brooks smiled. It was a cold smile. Then you will discover why humans spent so much time learning to make war before we learned to make peace. Kate returned to the speaker's chair. She looked out at the remaining aliens. Some were angry, some were scared. All of them were finally paying attention. For 3 years, we tried to join your civilization as friends, Kate said. We offered cooperation, trade, and mutual support. We were willing to start as junior partners and earn our place through good behavior. She gestured toward the empty seats where half the council used to sit. Instead, you saw us as prey. You thought our kindness was weakness. You thought our restraint was fear. You thought you could take what you wanted from us without consequences. But Kate stood up one final time. You were wrong. Humans are not weak. We never were. We were being polite. There is a difference. She looked directly at Grexel. Politeness is a choice. You can choose to stop being polite at any time. Kate pressed a button, and the blast doors opened. This session is adjourned. The new council will meet tomorrow to begin implementing the new rules. Any species that does not wish to participate is free to leave. As the aliens filed out of the chamber, Kate could hear them talking in frightened whispers. They were finally beginning to understand what they had awakened. Brooks walked over to Kate. Do you think they learned their lesson? Brooks asked. Kate watched the last alien leave the chamber. Outside the windows, human warships continued their patrol around the station. They learned that humans are dangerous when provoked, Kate said. Whether they learn to treat us with respect remains to be seen. And if they haven't, Kate looked at the empty chamber where she had spent 3 years being polite to people who wanted her species extinct. Then they will learn what humans are really like when we stop pretending to be civilized.